Hey everyone, and welcome to IP Classroom. I'm so glad you're here, ready to unlock some secrets with me. And you know what? Today's topic is all about valuable things, but not the kind you can hold in your hand. We're talking about the fascinating world of intellectual property, or as the cool kids call it, IP. Now you might be thinking, IP? Sounds kind of technical, John. And yeah, it can be, but trust me, it's also incredibly interesting, especially when you realize how much it shapes our world. From the music we listen to the apps on our phones, to even the medicines we rely on, IP is everywhere. So what exactly is IP? Well, in a nutshell, it's all about protecting the creations of the mind. It's about giving inventors, artists, writers, and businesses the rights to their inventions, designs, and creative works. And over the next few minutes, we'll delve into the key principles of IP, explore its different types, and see just how vital it is in our increasingly knowledge-based global economy. Let's get to it. So, first things first, what exactly makes intellectual property so, intellectual? It all boils down to one key word: intangible. That's right, unlike a physical object like, say, this awesome vintage globe on my desk, intellectual property isn't something you can touch. You can't hold a patent in your hand, and you can't really give someone a copyright as a birthday present. Instead, IP protects the expression of an idea, an invention, a creative work. It's the blueprint for that revolutionary gadget, the lyrics and melody of that catchy song stuck in your head, or even the distinctive logo of your favorite brand. It's the intangible essence of innovation and creativity. And because it's intangible, protecting intellectual property requires a different approach than safeguarding physical property. We can't just build a fence around an idea, can we? That's where the fascinating world of intellectual property law comes into play. We'll get to that in a bit, but first, let's delve a little deeper into what makes IP so unique. Here's the thing about intellectual property. It's all about giving creators control over their creations. It's about recognizing that the product of someone's mind, their hard work, their imagination, has value, and that they deserve to decide how it's used. This is where the concept of exclusive rights comes in. When you own the intellectual property rights to something, you essentially have a legal superpower. You get to decide who can use your invention, who can share your song, who can profit from your design. You can license it out, allowing others to use it under specific conditions, maybe in exchange for royalties. You could even sell those rights entirely, transferring ownership to someone else. Think of it like owning a piece of land. You can build a house on it, lease it to someone else, or even sell it. Similarly, intellectual property rights give creators the power to decide the fate of their creations, fostering a sense of ownership and encouraging further innovation. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, John, if IP rights last forever, wouldn't that stifle competition and limit access to knowledge and innovation? And you know what? That's a really insightful question. It's a question that lawmakers and experts have grappled with for centuries, and it gets to the heart of the balance that intellectual property law tries to strike. See, intellectual property rights aren't meant to last forever. Unlike that vintage globe on my desk, which will hopefully stay with me for a long, long time, IP rights have a limited duration. This means that after a certain period, these rights expire, and the protected work enters what's known as the public domain. This is where things get really interesting. Once in the public domain, anyone is free to use, adapt, build upon, and share the work without needing permission or paying royalties. It's like a treasure chest of ideas, inventions, and creative works just waiting to be rediscovered and reimagined. Remember that awesome globe I mentioned earlier? Well, imagine trying to draw borders on its smooth surface, lines that define where one country ends and another begins. It's tricky, right? Well, the world of intellectual property can sometimes feel like that globe, a bit boundless and interconnected. But here's the catch. IP rights aren't universal. Just because you have a patent for your invention in the United States doesn't mean it's automatically protected in, say, Japan or Brazil. This is because intellectual property rights are territorial, meaning they're granted and enforced by the laws of a specific country or region. Think of it like this. IP rights are like a passport for your creation. If you want to protect your invention or creative work in a particular country, you need to seek protection in that specific country. This can involve navigating different legal systems, languages, and cultural norms. Now, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, money. Okay, maybe not everyone's favorite, but it's definitely important. One of the most compelling aspects of intellectual property is its economic value. Because when we protect creations of the mind, we're not just protecting ideas. We're fueling economic growth, fostering innovation, and creating jobs. Think about it. When inventors, creators, and businesses know that their hard work will be protected, they're more likely to invest their time, energy, and resources into developing new products, writing groundbreaking books, or composing the next chart-topping hit. And this is where things get really exciting. Intellectual property can be commercialized, licensed, bought, and sold, just like any other type of property. From blockbuster movies and hit songs to life-saving pharmaceuticals and cutting-edge technologies, IP generates revenue, supports businesses, and drives economic progress. Okay, so we've established that intellectual property is valuable, it's a big deal, but what happens when someone tries to take a shortcut to copy your invention to pass off your song as their own? Well, that's where the protective shield of intellectual property law comes into play. IP laws are designed to safeguard creators from infringement, which is a fancy way of saying unauthorized use or copying. These laws give IP owners the legal tools they need to fight back, to protect their creations from being ripped off. This might involve sending cease and desist letters, pursuing legal action, or seeking compensation for damages. Now, navigating the world of IP enforcement can get a bit complex. It often involves lawyers, courts, and a whole lot of legal jargon, but the core idea is simple: to ensure that creators have the means to defend their rights and to deter others from unfairly profiting from their hard work. Well, that was a whirlwind tour through the fascinating world of intellectual property, wasn't it? We covered a lot of ground today, from the intangible nature of IP to its economic significance and the importance of protecting it. But here's the key takeaway. Intellectual property is about more than just legal concepts. It's about fostering a culture of creativity and innovation. It's about encouraging that spark of genius in all of us. Whether it's coming up with a groundbreaking invention, writing a soul-stirring song, or designing a logo that captures the essence of a brand. It's about recognizing that the creations of the mind have value and deserve to be protected. So, as you go about your day, remember that you're surrounded by intellectual property. It shapes our world in countless ways, and by understanding its importance, we can all play a role in supporting creators, fostering innovation, and building a brighter future. Now go forth and create something amazing.